Now, those are the words that captured me. If this movement could embody that statement, whereby we ask ourselves, how do we resist the structure and the organization of this government? Because so far we've been talking about William Ruto, but we've not started talking to Kenyans about how they relate. As a person, I ran 2 businesses. Before William Ruto, I ran a shop and a general store. I used to employ 10 people. Today, I'm only employing 2. Now, that is what cuts across this entire republic. People have been fired. And I was telling people, by the time we are getting to December, most businesses, mid and small businesses, will have closed down completely. Most businesses are just waiting for the end of the year so that they do not reopen. They wind up in a respectable manner. Now, can we start talking to Kenyans? And I like what Bonnie is saying. Let us start talking to Kenyans using numbers. We tell Kenyans, this was the number of people this particular sector used to employ. That sector has shrunk to this level. And I'll give you a number. I read last week that the KRA said, and the Register of Companies said, that 200 companies deregistered themselves. KRA said 200 companies said we cannot even file our taxes because they are winding up. Now, instead of talking to Ruto as I wind up, why don't we start talking to Kenyans about policies? Why don't we start talking to Kenyans and telling them, this is our policy on health, this is our policy on governance. When we talk about governance, like Clary say, if we say we go to restructure it, we say we don't, the counties are too, or they are too big, we are overrepresented, we shall trigger a referendum. And us winning at a referendum, we might get the smaller counties, but we might mute, we might disfigure the constitution. Why can't we talk, as Hillary is saying, why don't we talk about the salaries in that structure? We say, why is an MCA being paid this? We keep the MCA, but pay him this. Keep the women rep, but pay them this. We reduce the wages. Okay? Now, and then we talk to people. When we talk about infrastructure in this country, this is what we are talking about. We spend X amount. We spend $1 billion on salaries in Kenya. $1 billion shillings on salaries alone. If we reduce salaries on the high-end PSs and ministers, because no one is a PS who's poor. You're already a billionaire. So when you come to do this job as a PA, as a CS, you're doing it for public good. So your motivation is not a salary. Your motivation is a better Kenya. So we tell a minister, if you want to be a CS in Kenya, your salary will be capped at this. Okay? If we reduce our wages, then now we start having money to go to infrastructure, to go to health, to go to education, okay? And to expand the economy. Because we must pay our debts. That's something we cannot refuse. But I believe if we start coming up with a structure, Hillary, where we start forming policy documents, so that when we are talking in these spaces, we are saying, this is our plan for health. We believe this is how much we are spending on health. This is how we can restructure health. This is how we can put money in health. This is our plan for education. This is how we shall structure education. This is how we shall employ teachers. And this is how we shall get the money to do that. Now we're starting to talk about ideas of how to better Kenya. Because we shall still inherit a dilapidated country. So how do we start putting our minds together about how to recover the economy? Because in these spaces, we have everything. We have economists, we have doctors, we have teachers. Within these spaces, we have the solutions. Can we start talking about solutions? William Ruto is raping this country every day. We are not going to stop him from doing it. We can make noise, we'll continue doing it. Now let us start saying, in the next schedule of government that is coming, or even if we take government before 2027, this is how we want our education structured. This is how we want our health structured, our infrastructure structured. This is the negotiation we want with our donors and our foreign policy. I just feel it's getting monotonous to talk about what Ruto is doing wrong every day. We can see it for ourselves. We can feel it in our pocket. Let us be solution providers. let us try and change the conversation to that. Because solutions over hope. If we can sell hope, then we have this country. And Kenyans right now are yearning for hope. They are yearning for an idea out of the misery we are in. And if we continue talking about Ruto, politicians will regroup again. Because right now, I can trust you, me, Rigathi Gachagua is going to regroup with every politician Ruto has wronged. And they'll start talking about policies. And this is where we shall have messed up. Because it will be the same people in Ruto's government, they rebrand themselves and they come back again. And we shall be back on services again. So if we can talk about ideas and solutions that we can offer this country, then our conversations become deeper. Those are my submissions. Let us form structures of solutions and ideas, because we have it in us to do that. Thank you, Hilary.
Thank you so much, Anthony, and thank you so much all the time that when you join our spaces, and also giving idea that you had a business of employing 10 people, but now you are employing 2 people. Where it is 8 people, it means that they don't have anything. So you are one of them. So what about if 20 people do the same? It means that 16 people times 20, or 8 people times 20, that is 160 people losing a job within less than 3 months. Guys, there's a problem. So that's why we are talking about the way forward. And I thank you, Anthony, for bringing that. I was just doing my calculation here. If you're one of them and you're 10 of them, you release 8 people. That's 80 people within 3 months. Where these people survive? How will they survive? How will they pay rent? How will they do other things and everything? So, guys, as we talk about how to navigate the political uncertainty, what's happening? DP is now gone and the other one is coming in. What is the way forward for Kenyans and not for the leaders, and we base our ideas. I think Malik was here before and he was saying that today they tried to even go to Uhurupark and just to celebrate, but they were not allowed because nowadays Uhurupark is fenced and the GSU are all over, so they cannot allow to even go in. So what is happening? What's happening? Abdi, I see you. Can say hi to these people, then you give Pig Bean. I saw you, Dr. Onyango, and everybody else.
Thank you, Anthony. Anthony, thank you, Hillary, and thank you all the host, Dr. Milton and Bonnie. Yeah, I think you can hear me.
Very well. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think we are at a critical juncture in our nation's history, where the decision made in these moments will shape the trajectory of our future, I believe. I think the recent events have raised a very serious question about governance, democracy, the power structure, the rule of law that has defined us for long, I think. The impeachment discussions, the economic instability, the raising discontent among everybody in Kenya reflects the deep division and the aspiration that are colliding in this moment. But I think this is not the first time Kenya has faced a political uncertainty. Our history is one of struggle, resilience, and hard-won progress. Today, we are tasked with not only navigating these challenges, but also we can imagine a Kenya that is more inclusive, democratic, and just, without William Ruto. As we discuss the way forward, I think it is crucial to remember the real change, strategic action, the long-term vision. I think that street movements have their place in history. But I think we must also ask ourselves, how do we translate this energy into an institutional reforms? How do we build a political culture that reflects the diversity of our people and the values we claim to uphold? So I think and let's use this space to dig deep into these issues, to reflect on the lessons of the past, to outline concrete steps for the future, and our conversation should be today is not about diagnosing the present. It's about envisioning and creating Kenya that works for everyone, from the grassroots to the top leadership. Thank you, and Hillary, that was my take for now. And yeah.
Thank you so much. Pigbin, Comrade, I see you. Pigbin is one of the political. Pigbin, you are in another.
Hillary, can you hear me? Hillary, can you?
Yeah, your background is so bad. All right.
You're saying my background is so noisy.
You're crazy. Your background, check your background. I think you're in a noisy place. So if you can get a better place, okay. Dr. Onyango, how are you doing? Long time. How are you doing today? Anthony, you guys, you can pick it up from there. Let Dr. Bilton, I know he was listening. I know he can chime in now. But let me hear from Dr. Onyango. Dr. Onyango, how are you?
Fine, Hillary. Hi. How are you?
Long time, man. How was your Kenyatta Day? It is Kenyatta Day or Masuja Day?
My Mashujaa Day was, I think, just as low key as one previous speaker has pointed out here. But it's good to be back to this space. It's been I've been away for some time. My Mashujaa Day, we had meant to have to join the vigil in at Uhurupark for the in memory of our fallen soldiers, but that was not possible. Yeah, we had myself and my team at the Kilimo cha Haki project that we are running with farmers across the country against the agriculture issues and the agriculture bills that were in Parliament. We had planned to gather at Uhurupark for the memorial. But when I got there, same experience. We were tear gassed off. We were not able. The place was actually literally cordoned off by police all around. And then I parked myself in town and was just walking around, waiting and trying to connect with the people with whom we were supposed to meet, but it was not possible for us to gather. And ultimately, when I think at about 3 p.m. I remember the last group that tried to come together and were chanting anti-Ruto slogans in town, and the police just came and tear gassed us off again at around GPO, and that is how my Mashujaa Day ended. I had to come back home, and yes. But the struggle continues. I was telling my some friends of mine in another group that we may be pressed so hard from every side, but it behooves us to carry on. We cannot allow ourselves to be crushed. And earlier in the week, actually, we were supposed to have a march, a peaceful protest for Kilimo cha Haki. We were supposed to have a farmers' march and present petitions to Parliament, both houses of Parliament and then the Ministry of Agriculture, a petition against the agriculture bills that we've been complaining about. So earlier on, when the police had asked us that we should wait for the impeachment motion to end, then they would facilitate our march to Parliament. So we patiently waited and advised our farmers across the country to wait. So when the impeachment was ending, we again made an attempt. The reason we were making an attempt with the police is because our constituency at Kilimo cha Haki is a bit mixed up. It's not a team of young people that you may want to have running battles with the police in town, because the farmers, some of them are people across the ages. So they had we had wanted to do a peaceful protest facilitated by the police as per the constitution. And then now they asked us to present a notice. And we took our notice to the regional police headquarters as by law established. So at the regional police headquarters, nobody was willing to commit to stamp our letter received. Why? Because they are under instruction not to receive anything protest, because they say as constitutionally we're not supposed to be seeking permission to picket. We're just supposed to give notice. And by receiving that notice, the police commit that they should be able to facilitate and secure and protect the protests. So that is the reason they are under instruction not to receive. So there was nobody to stamp that letter received. We kept being referred from the smallest office to the highest office in that center. Actually, on the wall, I could see Deputy Inspector General of Police. So when we got there, we thought, now we are going to receive, our letter is going to be received as the highest level, then we will be able to go. But woe unto us, when we got there, Even that officer could not approve our letter. He referred us further to go to Vigilance House in town. So I wonder whether this letter was supposed to be approved by the Inspector General of Police, just to hold a peaceful march with farmers and present a petition in Parliament, and then also drop another petition at the Ministry of Agriculture. So when we were leaving the regional police headquarters, somebody actually confided in us and told us, hey guys, we understand the battle you're fighting. We are also, these things touch on us directly. We are also even told us, even myself, I'm a farmer and I really understand. I've been keenly following these things that are happening. We wish there was another way we could assist you, but we are clearly under instruction not to sustain anything, not to entertain anything protest. So we are living in a situation of uncertainty whereby you cannot, we are meant to suffer in silence. You cannot raise your voice in protest, you cannot march, you cannot picket. The only, if you want, they told us now the only thing you can do is just to show up on the streets. And now you know that how that turns out. It will be a march against you and the police. That is the situation in which we find ourselves, and there is nothing we can do about it. The political uncertainty occasioned by the impeachment of the deputy president, in as much as most of us do not like the deputy president, or some of us do not, maybe not, let me not say most, but it is important that due process is followed and everyone is given a chance. So the process, the same way we see things done, that means that same procedure can be used to pass so many things in Parliament. And when we have a Parliament that has willingly surrendered their authority to the head of state, then we are living in a very dangerous situation, and has given instruction to the armed forces and the police that no citizen should be allowed to raise their voice